it's Elise. I am here today to do the literal glove puppet workshop with you. In case you're wondering why it's called literal glove puppet, fun fact, the traditional hand puppets that you usually see are called glove puppets, but we are making puppets out of actual gloves today. So that's what makes this workshop unique. But the things you're going to need for this workshop today are, of course, gloves of some sort. I do have dishwashing gloves, but any kind of glove you have works fine. If you have like those really cheap cloth gloves, you can use those. If you have disposable gloves, you can also use those too. But you might have to like watch out for when you're using the hot glue because those that could get through the thin plastic really fast and burn you. So just be careful about that. But really, any kind of glove. This is a glove puppet workshop, so right, you need that to do something. What you're also going to need, I'm going to take these off because my hands are already kind of sweaty in them, That's just how these latex gloves work. The things you're also going to need, as I said, a hot glue gun of some sort, or, if you don't feel like using hot glue, you can also just decorate it with markers and stuff. I have Sharpies today. If you're using cloth, the Sharpies might not appear in the cloth, so you can always use paint if you want. But I think Sharpies might be okay for that too. I have yarn to play with because we all know that I like puppets to have long hair, so I have some yarn here. And then I also have some googly eyes. These are not totally necessary if you don't have googly eyes. I know that's like not something everyone has around the house. You're welcome to go get some like cardboard or paper or something and draw on it and cut it out. It's up to you. Whatever you have around the house to decorate this glove puppet will work. It's one of those. But let's get started, right? So I'm gonna need you to grab your glove. And what I'm gonna suggest is that you put the glove on your left hand today. This is my left hand, right? Yeah, I always have to do this because I can't tell directions. This is my left hand. So, and I say that because I work with my right hand. I'm right-handed. So when I'm like, say I wanna very carefully put hot glue, you actually probably want to take your glove out. For safety reasons, don't have your hand in when you're putting hot glue on the glove. But let's say I want to draw on it for some reason, and I need to use my right hand, right? So I would recommend using a left-handed glove if you have one. But again, it's up to you. It's really whatever you have around the house. If you don't have that, that's okay. But get your glove out. So a hand is so cool because a hand can be anything. I took a hand puppetry class at UConn just this past semester, and we kind of really explored like all the different things a hand can do in puppetry. So it's really cool. So what I want you to do is to just take your hand and start making random shapes with it, make random characters. The promo photo that I actually used a disposable glove, and then I ruined it because when I took it off I wasn't being careful and I made it all inside out. So if you're using a disposable glove, be really careful about that because I just wasn't thinking and ruined it. But here's like the character I used for the first one. It's kind of like almost like shadow puppet, right? Because we always whenever you're doing shadow puppets, we do like certain hand movements. The one I did yesterday in the preview video was this. It's kind of like maybe like the eyes can move around almost like alien-like or something. You can, I don't know. This is kind of cool, right? This could be a character. It's kind of cool because with the glove puppets, I feel like you almost get like a monster-like quality about it no matter what you do. Because if you put eyes on like any of the fingers, it's going to look kind of like funky and weird. So, I don't know, maybe make a monster today. Maybe I could have called it that. You can do something like this. You can also, you don't even have to have the hand like this be the front facing part. You could maybe, yeah, you can see that, right? Maybe you want your glove puppet to walk like this, almost like a dog. Or, I don't know, anything you really want. You can do this, right? Maybe decorate the front here and kind of figure out a character from there. It's really up to you. You gotta just kind of play around, feel what character you like. Keep in mind that, whatever character or whatever like hand position you're gonna have, you want to make sure that it's like sustainable. So say, I don't know, if I'm doing something weird like this, after a little while it might get hard for me to like, do that kind of position. So I don't know, just pick something that works for you, works for your hand. I've been kind of playing around. I'm trying to decide what kind of character I want to do right now, too. I could just do my original one, but that's no fun. You've already seen that, right? I kind of liked this that I did yesterday. Like, this would be the mouth, and two, like, eyes would kind of be, like, you know, expressive and everything. So I think I'm going to do that. I just put googly eyes on my little preview video yesterday, but I can really decorate now. So now we got to kind of plan out what we want to do. So now that you have your character, try to just play with it for a second. I feel like this is kind of like an alien-like character. Like, let's say I put the eyeballs here, you can kind of like, that's definitely the mouth. So if I opened up the mouth, I would need some kind of, you know, like the tongue or something right there, right? And then this would presumably be the rest of the body if I did that. Another thing you can also do is if you find that, I don't know, if one of these just isn't working for your character, you can always just take your scissors and cut it off. Maybe hide your finger in, here, watch. Like, so I just hid my pinky down in like the glove part, right? And then if I just cut it off, there you go. Now you have a 4-finger, 3-finger, and a thumb puppet. So I don't know, play with that too. It's up to you. But I think I'm gonna stick with this design just because I think it's kind of fun. So I'm gonna take it off now so I can start messing around with different ideas. My hand is so sweaty already. What the heck is that? Move my hot glue gun back. I moved into my new apartment, if you couldn't, or it's actually a house if you couldn't tell, but it's not, my desk is a lot smaller than the one I have at home, so it's kind of cramped working here. But that's okay. Maybe I'll move to the floor at some point or something. Not during the workshop. So I have to keep in mind when I'm drawing on this, right, that it's not going to actually be flat when I'm drawing, or it will be flat when I'm drawing on it, but what I mean is when you put your hand inside, you know, it animates and it loses that flat shape, so I have to be really conscious about that when I'm drawing. So I'm going to set that down. I always like to add, I'm telling you this is not something puppeteers usually do. I like to add the eyes first in terms of crafts like these, just so I can see the character immediately, and then I can just build around it. Usually you add the eyes last in puppetry because you want to make sure your focus is just right. Just for this, I'm going to add my eyes first. Getting out my little googly eyes. And you know what? Because I keep saying this is kind of like an alien, I think I'm going to add like multiple eyes just for fun. So this is the part where I use my hot glue gun, and I'm just going to, for the sake of safety, please, please, please do not have this on your hand when you're putting glue on there. Also, if you have plastic, like any sort of plastic, this might start to melt the plastic a little bit, so just be careful of that. I put like the teeniest, tiniest dab of hot glue on there. You can't really see, but there's an eye already. There we go. Just gonna add another one just for fun. Come on. There we go. If anyone is here making a glove puppet with me, or a literal glove puppet, I want to call it, you should throw in the comments what you're making. I'm curious. You might just be making an abstract alien like me, but I want to hear about it. It's kind of fun. Alright, so I have some weirdo little eyeballs going on, right? That kind of looks funky. Another thing you can do with these is you could like make each finger an individual character. So then, like, let's say, you know, you got a person on each of the fingers, then, like, you know, you wiggled it around and they're all like a family or something. I don't know. There's like a million different things you could do with a glove. This workshop's really just to kind of get your brain flowing in terms of ideas for using gloves. It's just some fun. All right, I'll keep adding a little bit more. Put too much glue there, so I'm gonna add another eyeball. And again, I'm just using like a tiny bit because I really do not want it to melt the plastic. gonna add one more. Can't see what I'm doing. I feel bad. This is not the ideal setup. All right, I'm gonna put it on. I think the hot glue, I use like so little that it should be okay. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Can't put on this glove. What's wrong? There we go. Oh, I was wrong. The hot glue's still hot. All right, so now see, I've got this like weird little, like alien-like creature. You can talk like this too if you want. So maybe that's how he grabs things. Maybe, oh, see, I'm learning right now as I watch it in the camera. Maybe like the mouth could actually be there, and this is like, you know, it's like pinchers or something, like how it grabs. I think I like that idea better actually. It's kind of funnier, right? So I'm gonna play with that. So now, of course, now it's time to add a mouth of some sort. So I'm gonna take it off again. One of my eyes just fell off. That's okay. That works too, right? Yeah, I think that still works. All right. Move the thumb out of the way. I'm gonna draw a little mouth on with my fun Sharpies that I have. And of course this is a friendly monster because this is a kid-friendly workshop, right? So I'm gonna... The thing with dishwashing gloves, this is why I'd rather use a cloth glove for this. But again, I didn't have one around the house. The issue with this is that dishwashing gloves often have that, like, you know, the grid on it so that, you know, it can get tough things off. So I'm trying to like draw very lightly over it, but it's kind of hard. All right. I'm gonna give him some teeth because I keep saying this is almost like an alien monster. I'm gonna color it in. There we go. You could also be using like cardboard for this or something, or paper, and just like glue it on. Alright, so here's my little guy so far. Pretty fast, right? Yeah, this workshop might be shorter than normal just because it doesn't take long. It kind of depends how much you really want to add to it. But these are pretty quick puppets, I would say. But still effective. Like, you could do a whole show with this and be totally fine. You could make them fast, too. These are cheap puppets. We love cheap puppets here. So I have my little guy already. I'm trying to think about what else I want to add. I feel like since these are the hands, I almost want to see, like, I don't know, some sort of like jewelry on it, or claws, or just something that like indicates that it's a hand, you know, or like they're the little grabby things. But I don't know. Could put a ring on it. That'd be really funny, like acknowledging that it's actually a glove. That's what I'll do. You know, I'm gonna draw a ring on. So as you can see, what I'm doing is I just keep putting it on, deciding what else I want, and then taking it off again and making that dream come alive. Alright, so I'm just gonna, I don't know, he has some bling. So I'm gonna draw that around. I'm gonna have to flip my puppet over to do this in a second. Where's the other side of this? Oh, I went up. There we go. It's hard to draw. I'm trying to go fast because I know it's not very fun for people to just watch this. Alright, I've added a little band. I wish I had a brighter color or something. Yeah, the red is kind of dark. I should have gotten like white dishwashing gloves or something. She was, yeah, okay. Alright. Time for the review. Oh, you can't even see it. That's okay. So if if he like bent down to get something, you could see that he has a ring on his finger. I don't know. Kind of up to you. You could give him some clothes or something. So maybe he wants to wear a necklace, or I don't know. Maybe he's professional. Maybe he wants a tie. That's always what I think of whenever I have to give a puppet some kind of clothing for some reason. But this is the character so far, and I think that I want to add some kind of hair now. You can always make them eyebrows or something, because I put the eyes on the top, so adding something funny right here might kind of like make an expression of some sort. You could add, and it kind of depends where you want to add it, right? You could always add hair here or something. So maybe like when he turns around, it looks like a low ponytail. You could add hair. You could add hair here. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe that's just like the trait of this alien species. We don't know. So I'm gonna get out my take off the glove again. It gets harder to take it off every time because my hands get sweaty. It's a good time. I had pink yarn. That's all I had today. So that's what we're gonna use. If I can find the end of it. Where is it? Where are you? I'm just gonna have to cut a random thing out in a second. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut it randomly. I can't find it. Alright. So I'm gonna cut just a few strands. I think I want to put them at the top of the eyes. So I might do that. I'm gonna get out my fabric scissors. Makes it go by a lot faster. One of my favorite things for making puppet hair, this would be like for an actual hand puppet, or really, I don't know, it doesn't have to be a hand puppet, any kind of puppet that needs hair. What I do is I like to cut yarn twice the length of the hair. So like, say from like here all the way over here, that's the length I would be cutting. And then I just sew, I line it up real tight. I even like sometimes will like clip it together or something when I put it in the sewing machine, and I just, so like make basically a part like right in the middle. And I sew it together and it works really well. Then I just glue that piece to puppet head. So if you're ever wondering how to make puppet hair, I just shared with you my secret. Basically, I'm pretty used to cutting yarn like this. We've done this in a couple of other workshops I've done. Alright, I feel like I've done enough. Now that I have this really funky, this is like pretty pink hair, right? I wish I had that hair. It's way more fun than just brown. Alright, so I'm just gonna take my character and I'm gonna try to decide where I want it. Maybe this is a character where only one of them has hair, and like they're two characters like on the same body. That would be kind of funny. There's a puppet slam idea. Somebody write that down. I could separate these. I'm gonna cut it in half because I decided that I want both of them to have the equal length hair. Okay. Where are you? There you go. So something I also do, if I don't, have like a sewing machine or I don't really want to use one, for this kind of craft, something really quick we can do is just take another piece of the yarn, wrap it around the middle of this little like group of yarn that you've just gotten. I'm gonna do it like right here so you can see it. And then I just tie it really, really tightly. And I'll show you in like half a second. Might even do it again just to make sure that it goes over well. All right. And if you make the yarn long enough, the piece that you tie, it'll just blend right in with the thing. So see, now you can see I kind of got like a part going. You can like trim the hair as needed if it's not quite right, like right here, it bothers me. I don't like that. There we go, giving puppets haircuts. All right, and now I'm gonna place it on the glove puppet. Let's see. So it's got like almost like eyebrows or something. No, I still think that looks like hair to me. The other one, the one in like the example photo, that had some crazy gray eyebrows going. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing I just did on that one, on another one. If I can find my stuff. There we go. This one's probably slightly longer than the first one, so I'm gonna give it a cut. Love fabric scissors. They cut so beautifully. All right, now I'm gonna place it. And I'm just putting it directly onto the yarn, just for fun. All right. Oh no, the second eye fell off. I need to use more glue. That's my fault. I'm just gonna hold that there for a second. All right. Some of the yarn like floated into the air and it got hard to breathe. All right. There we go. So now my puppet not only has a wonderful smile and some crazy eyeballs going on, but it has awesome pink hair too. It's very happy about it, right? There we go. So now we gotta think about how to perform it, right? Because this is a glove puppet, or a literal glove puppet, I want to call it. Whatever you did with your puppet, performing it's going to look drastically different. So if you didn't do exactly what I just did with this, it's going to perform way differently. So what I encourage you to do is just kind of play with it and find some character quirks. So like if you ask it a question, yes, maybe only one is like yes, or maybe that's like it's eye twitching or something. If it's surprised, maybe it's like, or maybe, maybe it doesn't want to like do that. So maybe it's just like, maybe being scared looks like shaking. Oh, you can barely see the eyes anywhere. Maybe that's a character trait too. You have to like flip the hair back to see. So just kind of have fun with your glove puppet. That's kind of the point of this workshop. These are really fast and like easy puppets to make. So if you have other gloves, you can feel free to just, I don't know, make a friend for it. I dare you to. That would be awesome. But other than that, I think that's honestly all I have for you today. Ending early for like the first time ever. Oh, that's nuts. But I hope you guys had fun today. And I hope to see you in next week's workshop. I'm doing both. Or the first one is going to be with Felicia. We're going to be talking about how to perform screen puppets, or TV puppetry. So that's going to be a pretty exciting one. And it's really simple to do too. And then the second one is just going to be about how to paint. So that should be really fun. But I hope to see you next week, guys. Bye bye.